the consultation process now of Regulation 19 that I'm sure you know about, and this meeting hopefully will help residents to frame their responses. We have a handout.
Who are you?
Nothing like being undermined early.
What do you think?
Nigel Francis, nice to meet you all. So I'm one of the TLAG. I think most of you have got the handout. So this has been put together over the last week or so. We're going to deliver these handouts to houses or to people that aren't here. Someone has just volunteered kindly to do the whole of Tandridge Village. If anyone or any people are willing to help deliver to South Godstone, then if you could make yourself known to us at the end of the meeting, that would be super. It's quite nice not to have the same people always delivering the leaflets, so if anyone's willing to do that, that would be lovely. Now, we firmly believe that what the council have put together needs to be challenged robustly, and to that end, we've spent a lot of time, a few individuals have given an immense amount of time and resource and effort to getting together a sort of a thorough and a professional defence. It's aimed specifically toward having no massive development or golden village at South Godstone or Blindley Heath, whilst at the same time we do acknowledge that the council do need to build houses, but there is an alternative, a viable alternative, and I think David will go through that a little bit later. This morning we have Alex is going to give his thoughts. Alex Rabbetts is from Godstone. A few of you may be aware of his social media postings. He's a little critical of the process, and he will give us his thoughts. And then David will speak as well about his views on the process and how we should respond. And then afterwards there will be a hopefully shortish Q&A session. So we're trying to do this, trying to wrap it up within about an hour. Okay, so I'll hand you over to Alex.
Okay, thank you very much. So yeah, as Nigel said, my name's Alex Rabbetts. I chair the Godstone Village Association, and that's one of the reasons why I have an interest in this plan. But I thought I'd start this morning by asking if any of you remember this document. It was the Issues and Approaches document issued in February 2016, and it was the one that had the 6 or 7 options, actually, because 2 had 2A and 2B, but the 7 options for development. And the final one, if I can get to it, number 6. There we go, number 6, a large urban extension or new settlement, and then it had a footnote that said the amount of homes and employment space to be provided in the approach are to be determined as the plan progresses. This approach is known as broad base. This document is dated November 2015, 3 months before that, and in it there is a response from Surrey County Council to Tandridge District Council proposal to build 4,000 houses in South Godstone. Nowhere else is mentioned, not Children or Hackstead or anywhere else at all, just 4,000 houses in South Godstone. So they lied. They lied to all of us when they said they didn't know what they were going to do, because 6 months beforehand they'd actually issued this to Surrey County Council in August of that year, 2015. So six months beforehand they knew exactly what they were going to do. So they lied. In the information that they've given to us recently, they talked about this 1,000 affordable homes that they're going to put within the plan. And that all sounds great, doesn't it? But if you read the plan, guess how many houses are in there, affordable houses? Not one. Not a single one. So they've lied to us again. They've said that they're going to create 1,000 new jobs. And those 1,000 new jobs are going to include many high value jobs. So I've written to them and asked them. I said, oh great, where are these jobs going to be? And how are we going to get them? And where are the highly paid plants coming from? And they haven't responded. So they've continually lied to us all the way through. Now, we're now at Regulation 19, and Regulation 19 is a test of 2 things: legal compliance and soundness. They're the only 2 things. And contrary to what they're saying, because they are saying, oh, we'll accept any comments that come in, and that's fine, and all the rest of it, they're not. They're rejecting them. when people are writing in not commenting on the soundness or the legal compliance of the plan, they're rejecting those comments and saying they can't accept them, which is not true. Regulation 19 does not actually specify that. You can say what you like. However, if you look at the soundness test, there are 5 areas that they've got to be tested. There's the first one, which is duty to cooperate. And that means duty to cooperate with us as communities, with other authorities, etc. Now, Edenbridge Town Council and Sevenoaks District Council, when they still had Haxted in their plan, wrote to them and told them to remove it immediately because they wouldn't work with them. Tandridge refused to work with Reigate and Banstead. So their duty to cooperate with the authorities has not really been there. Their duty to cooperate with us is that they have lied since 2015 all the way through to now. They have been telling us that they didn't know what they were going to do and where they were going to build these houses. They claimed to have made the decision in June this year, but they didn't. They made it in August 2015 or before. So the duty to cooperate hasn't been there. The plan's got to be effective. Building 4,000 houses in South Godstone isn't going to do anything for people who live in Caterham or in Warlingham or Woldingham. It's not effective. The plan has to be justified. Well, there is no justification for building houses in South Godstone or Brinley Heath when, in fact, it's not going to solve the infrastructure problems that they identified. It's not going to do anything for any other part of the district. It's certainly not going to do anything for anybody here. And all it's going to do is create another big problem because everybody's going to have to commute out of this area because there will be no jobs. They're not going to get South Godstone Station upgrade or Godstone Station upgraded. It won't happen. So the reality is that everybody's going to commute to Oxted or to Upper Warlingham or maybe to Caterham and Whiteleaf to commute out of the area because that's the only place they'll be able to work. It won't solve schooling problems because 4,000 houses in South Godstone may justify a new school, although Tandridge District Council can't actually promise that because they don't deliver schools. But it may justify a new school, but trust me, it isn't going to create more school places for people who currently go to Oxted or who go to Caterham. It's only going to create school places for the new development. So it's not effective and it's not justified. So Regulation 19 is such an important part because this is where we can say to the council, look, you've got to rethink this. This doesn't work. Now, David is going to talk more about what TLAG think, but I mean, believe me, I'm totally with him. There is no need for a garden village. No need for a garden village anywhere. It doesn't have to be not here. It's no need for a garden village anywhere. They can meet their housing need if they just develop around the places where it's needed. Excuse me. Affordable houses in South Godstone will not provide affordable homes for somebody living in Chorlton. We need affordable houses in Chorlton for people who live in Chorlton. We need affordable houses for people who live in South Godstone, but only for people who live in South Godstone. We need some in Blythe Heath because we need affordable housing in Blythe Heath. We need some in Godstone because, again, we need affordable housing. But what we don't need is 4,000 houses that all it will do, it will be sold off to people who aren't from this area because nobody will be able to afford them, and it will end up creating a community which is completely dormant because it can't work here. So it will just literally commute out of the area, which will create huge problems on our roads, it will create huge problems on our railways, and it will ruin life for everybody here. And just a quick note on the roads, the government has this thing called RIS, okay, the Roads Infrastructure Strategy, and currently RIS 2 is the document which is in play, and that lasts until 2025. Nowhere in RIS 2 is there an upgrade of either the A22 or the M25 Junction 6. That means the reality is, if Tandridge want to upgrade Junction 6, as they say they do, they haven't enough money to do it in the plan, of course, but that's irrelevant. If they say they want to do it, they've got to get it into the next version of RIS, so RIS 3. That means it doesn't start getting drafted till 2025, which means there is no way on earth they could deliver an upgrade to Junction 6 before the end of the life of this plan. And the same goes for the A22. So again, they lied. You probably guessed that by now that I'm not a total supporter of this. But reality is that what I don't like is two things. I don't like people lying to me, and I don't like people trying to sell it in a way that they think will be acceptable. So they keep saying, we're putting thousands of new jobs. They're trying to sell it to other areas of the district, say, well, look how wonderful we are, we're going to create thousands of new jobs. No, it's not a single one in the plan, of course. You know, we're going to create thousands of affordable homes. Not one in the plan. We're going to upgrade Junction 6 to the M25. Well, it will cost them 200 million. They've only got 110 million identified.